today's lesson is all about how to open yourself to a source of unconditional love. Now, why would we want to do this? You know, the ego and the mind likes to be in control. Doesn't necessarily like to surrender to an experience that may make it feel out of control, which is exactly what love will do to the ego. The ego will have to take a step down from its pedestal and move into this place of complete surrender. But there's something very powerful about love. And as you know, love makes the world go round, right? It makes us do whatever we are doing that we're passionate about. It brings people together. It brings souls into a state of union, a state of peace, a state of healing. And so love is one of the greatest experiences that we can allow ourselves to experience in life, to let into our hearts. And it's always here. It's everywhere around us. There's nothing that doesn't contain the experience of that loving energy inside of it, somewhere inside of it. Every cell, every atom, every molecule, everything has that core vibration and energy of love. So you can equate love to God. Say love is God and God is love. And say you're opening yourself up to the highest intelligence and consciousness in the universe by opening yourself to love. So it's very powerful to allow yourself to say yes to this energy of love and to really understand what you're saying yes to, because a lot of people have a misunderstanding that love is sort of a romantic thing where you get hurt if you fall in love instead of just rise in love. Okay, what I'm speaking about here is opening your heart to the experience of the energy of love, which is a very deep relaxation. It's a very peaceful energy. It's a very heart-opening energy. It's very healing. And it allows you to bring yourself into the deepest place inside your being, where you are the most powerful that you could ever be. You're the most compassionate with others, which is one of the highest experiences that we can allow ourselves to have as a human being, is to be compassionate for all those around us, meaning being very patient, being very gentle, being very kind, non-judgmental, and just allowing people to be whoever they're being. Simple as that. And yet, as you know, it's not necessarily always easy, because the mind gets in the way, the ego gets in the way and says, well, this is right, this is wrong, they should do it this way, they should be that way. And so love takes a second story down, right? It takes a step down. So the energy of love is always compassionate. It has this ability to transcend a sense of rushing or demanding, a sense of time or space. It completely dissolves, because you're allowing for the entire universe to be exactly the way it is, because the energy of love is all permissive. Okay, it's unconditional, true love. Okay, now of course there's conditional love, which means that basically I'm going to get to try to get you to do something that I want, my ego wants you to do based on these conditions, and I'll love you or give you this gift of whatever it is based on if I get what I want. So that's not really love. That's more about the ego getting satisfied momentarily. True love is really without any condition at all. It basically accepts your partner or yourself or the world or other people, your family, just the way they are. Just allowing them to be however they are, however flawed they are, however crazy, however neurotic or mean or tormented or whatever issues that they're going through. It gives them space. Love is really just allowing people space to be and have the experience of whatever they're experiencing. That's real love. And if that person is harming themselves in some way, then love will step in and say, hey, this is not okay. You know, because if you hurt yourself, then I'm going to feel that pain too. And how can I help? Right? So love, there's a state of permission in allowing somebody to harm themselves, if that's what they really want to do, and you're okay with that, and they're okay with that, and that's what they need to do, then that could be love. That love can reach that level of that intensity of allowing people to harm themselves. Okay, but there needs to be a conscious communication before that happens. Otherwise, it's sort of just a state of denial, and just being irresponsible, not really being present in their lives and in your own heart and mind, because you would have to shut down to let somebody harm themselves in front of you or in your life. So it's more about really connecting with people, talking about where they're at, allowing them to have their experience, and asking, well, how can you help? Okay, if that's a possibility. Some people are not open. Okay, a lot of people tend to sort of hide or shut down or stay in their fixed way of being, because once they open up to love, then they have to let go of their old comfort zone of being however they are in their pain. Okay, pain can be an old habit. People like to stay in old habits because they'd rather stay in an old habit that's comfortable than actually take responsibility for what they're creating, create something else, create something new. Okay, and then step into this place of being free from their ego, right? Into this place of love. So you could say that once you're in a state of love in your heart, then you're free from ego. Like, just love just completely dissolves the ego. There's nobody there. There's no identity, which is basically what ego is your idea of who you are, your identity. And it says, that doesn't really hold ground anymore. That's just a fixed illusion that we've wrapped up around ourselves, thinking that this is who we are, and this is who we're not. So love has this ability to really dissolve the ego completely to the core, where there's just this openness, this gentleness, this unconditional forgiving energy. Okay, where you're always forgiving yourself and everyone, each moment, for being caught in a place where they may not necessarily want to be, but that's just where they are. And so it really comes down to first loving yourself and all those different parts of yourself that you may not necessarily appreciate or agree with or want them to be there, that you may judge yourself on certain levels, and saying, you know what, these parts need love. That's all they need. It's just someone to be patient with them, to be kind with them, to be gentle with them, and give this sense of forgiveness back to those parts of yourself, okay, that are somehow stuck in this old memory, old way of being. Maybe something traumatic happened, and something that you did, or somebody did to you. So, life happens in this miraculous way where it's bringing up all of our stuff, whether it's from past lives or from this lifetime or even future lives that are, coming our way. That's bringing up all this stuff inside of us right now for us to grow and evolve and wake up to realizing this divine being that we truly are. Okay? So that's my understanding of why we're here. This purpose of life is to awaken this divine love inside of us, which is this divinity. And so that we are this radiant, all unconditional, loving presence with everything and everyone. And so there's not this sense of separateness, of smallness, of limitations, of lack, of worry, of not feeling abundant, not feeling free. Okay? What a beautiful world that would be, right? If we all just took that one step into just being more in our hearts and more in this loving vibration, just even with ourselves. Because if you can do this with yourself, then it's just naturally going to flow out onto everybody else. And it becomes contagious. And then everybody around you starts to catch on and give that love back to you. And it brings that love vibration in your body, in your mind, to this higher place and higher state of consciousness, where all of a sudden you're surrounded by loving beings everywhere you go. And that's all you see. That's all you are, and that's all you see, because your reality becomes so penetrated by this divine loving energy. Okay? And eventually, again, the mind will just sort of dissolve away. The judgmental mind, the analytical mind, the mind that says this is good, this is bad, it'll just sort of fall away. And you'll naturally be able to make decisions based on if your heart opens or closes, not if something's good or bad, but how does your body feel? And your mind won't get in the way saying, this is wrong, this is right. It doesn't have to make a judgment. It can just say, hey, it feels better. My intuition, something deeper inside is telling me, spirit, source, whatever it is, to say, hey, this feels good. And so that's what happens when you follow this loving path, okay, when you open your heart to love. Okay? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to give you a meditation that will help you to get in touch with this loving vibration.